You're live, it says. All right, we will call the September 9th, 2025 Plan Commission, LaGrange County Plan Commission meeting to order. Could I have a roll call, please?
Lynn,
Here?
Zach,
Here.
Ethan,
Here.
John,
Here.
Shannon,
Here.
Paul,
Here.
and Tyler.
Here.
There will be public comment on the non-public hearing items this evening. There are also some public hearings that we have tonight. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda?
No, as presented.
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We have two sets of minutes from our previous meeting, the 8/12/25 regular meeting and the 8/12/25 special meeting. Is there a motion to approve those?
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, we're good to go. Time to go. Old business.
First one on the agenda is for Mark and Derek Bontrager, CFO, Newberry Township, Section 30, Township 37 North, Range 80s, Zone A2. It's located at 0160 South, 1150 West, and 230 South, 1150 West, Middlebury. Application is for the 66 by 536 residential layer barn. For the manure storage, feed bin pad, loading dock, chicken pasture, and a 30-foot filter strip. Here's our plan. Representative?
Yes. Excuse me. I'm Tiffany from Agronomic Solutions, 336 East Lake Street, Topeka. We are building a layer barn. Excuse me. There will be, 50,000 birds in this barn. This is a belted manure system, so all the manure will be belted to the rear of the west end of the barn, to the manure stack. The eggs will be belted to the east end to the egg. It's not a processing area, but that's where they put the eggs in the carton and then the cooler room until the semis come to pick them up. It is on a new parcel that was parceled off from the parent parcel. Was adjoined to Derek's parcel. And since the last meeting, it was held over to this meeting. We have created a driveway back to the manure stack on the south side where the opening is to the manure storage.
Is the owner here tonight?
Yes, sir, right in the front row.
Well, when we saw this last month, I think our only concern was being able to get back to the manure stack in inclement weather, March, April, usually when those things get cleaned out, ground soft. So seeing that road there to be able to get back there and haul that out, I don't know. Is there any other concerns from the board?
What kind of vehicles haul it out?
This is a custom hauler.
With what kind of vehicle?
He's got.
I forget who's hauling for you. Tim Miller. So
Is that large enough area back there to maneuver to get turned back around?
yes, there's plenty of room to maneuver to get back on.
Like
there.
on the drive or on the pad, you mean? Like
Yeah.
where'd you turn around at?
He can drive back and there'll be plenty of room to turn around back there.
I mean, on the driveway or on the pad? Where you say he has plenty of room at? What do you mean?
He's not going to want to back down back there.
No.
He will be able to turn around back there.
You will?
Yeah.
Where at?
So there's not enough pad or stone. I mean, is that what you're asking?
That's what I'm asking.
So no, there's earth.
Okay. Is there any way you just make a place where you can back up and turn around with the gravel? Versus, I don't know. I mean, you just got a driveway getting there, which is great. But I don't know how he maneuvers back there if it's soft, like you said, because you take a triaxle like in the springtime off there. I don't know, you're going to be stuck or sunk. Any thoughts?
So again, they can choose when they go back there. It isn't necessarily us in a wet time because this is a belted system. So it's not only when it is a wet season. Does that make sense? So they can choose when they go back there.
How long of storage do you have there then? How long would that last?
I'll tell you, hold on,
6 months?
because it is in the item permit of how many days of storage we have. $198 which those are items calculations. Item calculates our calculations are more than the actual production. And I would say we probably have at least 1.5 times that. Because their production numbers are according to, so theirs are on a higher moisture content than what this is because it is, it's dry on the belt. It comes off, it's dry when it drops in. It's not a high moisture. We have manure samples from these barns that show that it's not a high moisture, but we can't get IDEM to accept that, so we have to go by their calculations.
Ethan, Tyler, you guys pick up from these places sometimes. Is this sufficient, you think, to maneuver?
I've never done this before.
I've never had.
No.
Is that Zach's job?
I mean, about everyone we go to, Zach, we gotta back down the drive back to the manure stack, and Tim's got triaxles, so it's not like backing a semi that whole way.
The driveway in and itself is a significant improvement.
Yes,
Do you guys feel comfortable with it?
I feel like the driveway is a very good addition. Smart on their part for getting it out of there, and yeah, they're, even if there's just a T or something back there, would be better than nothing, but backing that isn't that big of a deal in a triaxle.
It's
I think it's
6
sufficient.
months, isn't that adequate with storage, what do you think? Okay.
Usually they try and clean them out in the spring and the fall when the crops are off, so.
Yeah, okay.
Or when they have time to haul.
Yeah, okay.
Usually it's in late days, you can't plant.
Well, I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any further discussion? Let's go ahead and vote.
Lynn,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Ethan,
Yes.
Shannon.
Yes.
Paul,
Yes.
and John.
Yes.
Okay. You're good to go. Thank you. On to the next one.
On to new business, it's the Bird and William Bond Treasure, we're in First Spring Township, section 34, township 36 north, range 9 east, it's zone 82. Your application is for proposed plan new development for 14.84 29 acres of mixed-use community development of feed and farm supply company.
That's what I thought.
They're addressing. They addressed a lot of it. Big time.
Okay.
It's gonna be big time improvement.
So here's the existing, here's their proposal. existing business. Representative?
Good evening, Scott Ziegler and Clayton Evans with Hannah Plow Surveying, representing Bontrager's on this issue. So most of you are probably familiar with the Bontrager feed business there on 700 east of Topeka. So a longstanding business for grinding feed and farm supplies and all of that. So this property obviously has been around for a while and has been built over a period of time. We could probably continue putting additions on using just the site plan process and or variances, but it seemed like the most prudent thing to do would be to present a PUD, show you the big full picture of everything. We've put a lot of time and effort into planning and phasing out everything. So what you're looking at here is about 4 phases of work to complete this over the course of 7 to 15 years. You know, once one's done, then as soon as money's available, we're on to the next one and the next one. So I wouldn't say these are immediate, but they're definitely planned phases that we want to move forward in as soon as we financially can do that. If you're familiar, a lot of these older businesses, you know, right up against the road, you know, wider driveways, things like that. That's one of the things we're going to be correcting with this. If you've been out there, the traffic flow can be a little difficult at times within there. So we'll be definitely improving a lot of that traffic flow with the new driveways over to the east. We've already started making improvements by adding some concrete to the southeast part and bringing some of the material over there on some taller racking. So again, trying to more efficiently use the space and storing material. There's a storage barn plan, you know, I think it was a 4th phase, you know, toward the very back. But again, all this was designed around a couple of things. One, making the entrance and exits safer at the road, eliminating a number of those, improving the drainage. We're handling our stormwater, I think, way more than what is even required. And then internal traffic flow and all of that, I think, will be greatly enhanced with the project here. So I think the only thing we really have so this would be a B-type setback applied to this property, which makes the most sense over the ag. If you're familiar with the building itself or the mill itself, on the road side of that, there'll be some overhead bins and a drive-through or back-through area there. So that's the only little issue that is going to be over the what the setbacks would be. But again, we're compensating that with substantial reduction of all that pavement there along the road. So there'll be defined driveways then. And the trucks would be backing into that. So again, that's the only practical thing we can do with that. We can't move that multi-million-dollar building and facility very easily. So we're stuck with that building right there. So we're trying to make the best use of that we could, but it would be easier to have those overhead unload bins there on the north side. It's the only place that's going to work on that building. So I think that's the only thing, am I right, Clayton, that is slightly over the setbacks, but it's that confined area. But again, the give and take is we're reducing a bunch of that. What is there, 150 foot or better of pavement along the road there. So that'll be reduced to confined driveways there, drainage improved. Again, I think we've tried to look at this as a whole picture and build out this. So at the end of the day here, we've got a well-planned, well thought out, well-built facility that's easy to maneuver and more thought out than what it had been pieced together to this point. So anything to add there? Laverne's here if you have any questions.
Yeah, I would just add Laverne's here. We've been working with him for almost 2 years probably, and he's just worked really hard to take a family business that, you know, he's grown up here and look at it critically and at what's going to make the business function better over the long term as they're going through, you know, some generational transition. So I commend him to taking the extra time to really think long term and try to find something that's really going to work well for the future of the business. Yeah.
I think one thing we've done that as cost, probably going to cost them more money in the stormwater management is we've put in large dry wells, actually double stack some dry wells. So we're encouraging that groundwater to infiltrate down through the ground profile rather than run off into a large detention facility. So I think from that standpoint, from a cost standpoint, it's going to cost more to do that type of work, but I think it's better, wiser management if you can afford to do that. So most all of this is going to be handled through those dry wells. So if you haven't seen them, go out and look at them. They work really well. We've had some big rains and they're working really well. So it's a large concrete structure with porous sides, stone around that. And again, it collects the water and encourage that to infiltrate down into the ground profile. And then there's smaller pipes in there to connect those and release ultimately. But we can get a lot of storage, and we do have a lot of storage out here as well too. So very minimal amount is going to run off on the adjoining property owners. So we're trying to incorporate more of that type into our projects as well. I think went through tech meeting. There really wasn't many issues. There's a few questions to begin with, but I think all the issues, concerns, whatever there were fairly minimal. We're basically dealt with at the tech committee meeting there. I don't think we had many changes to make from that, so it did get approval from them.
So the drainage, is the yellow lines, are those all the drainage? Or what's the yellow lines about?
Yeah, there's some existing structures that are there, and there's ones that'll be added as we phase in. So
These would all be existing, showing how the different dry wells interconnect.
So a number of dry wells are already in. I think there's 5 dry wells there now and 1 or 2 more planned in the near future, and then 3 or 4 more as we build out that northeastern part there. And some of those that have been put in under the concrete, they've already been stubbed out, pre-stubbed out. So we can just connect into that at the end of the concrete and move on. So the water is going to be basically exits the property 3 ways, 4 ways really now. Some of it goes to the northeast. We're grabbing all of that water that does go to the northeast. We're bringing that all back through the property, through the dry well. So there's really nothing at all, or virtually nothing going northeast. A lot of it's going to come south toward the railroad as it does now. Really small pipes discharging there. Well less, I mean, probably a quarter of what would shed off of that property in a completely undeveloped state. So we've really throttled that water back hard there. Some water is going to go west, basically, between some of the buildings and then over, basically discharging onto them through a pasture area. And then there is some, as you're aware, if you've been out there, that goes to the northwest on that driveway. So we're going to be improving that by grabbing some of that water and putting that into a dry well out by the road, probably yet this year, early next year, to collect that water as well too. So that surface water that would have headed that way, we're going to manage that as well too, even though that's basically all currently developed. So we're improving even the developed areas as well. Did that answer your question?
Sure. I mean, I just think it's a great plan, site plan, development. And I think the positive part I see on the new generation on Laverne, I would commend him for what he does as far as having dumpsters there. There's no burning, and my big concern is just being a great neighbor. If I don't know, Robbie, can you go back a couple screens? If there's a future bike trail in the back, just I don't think we want business going across there for the future. I think Laverne knows that, and if this bike trail thing could be a huge benefit for you if you bring bikes in there, and that's it. I don't know if you guys have looked at it or not, but I just don't think we should have, or is it even doable to have some business going across or not?
I think use it mostly for just pasture ag purposes, and that's perfectly fine. When you start hauling gates and surplus, that's a different story, which obviously wouldn't want to necessarily have business across there, but it's for horses or for some agricultural purposes, not a big deal.
Yeah, I don't think there's any business activity going on across the railroad track. And they do have, there's another long easement that comes in from the west to get back to that property as well. So most, if not all of that access across the trail there, the railroad would be agricultural in nature. Because there is a decent amount of land that they would own to the south part there that is in agricultural production.
Over the Pumpkin Vine, they allowed to put gates and crossings for people to own each side for farm crossings.
I guess the back side of that is gonna, the front side of this feed mill, I like this has really been upgrading, and I think the back side can be as nice as well. So that's all I have.
Are we closing some of the lanes they're entering the sunset? Do you mind on this? In the photos here, I see the pink, but I'm not sure if you can explain it here.
So right now, this lot, well, first of all, this lot is going away. It's going to be incorporated into the whole lot for the business, and this residence will also be removed from one of the phases. So the 2 driveway cuts for that are going away to be replaced by the 1 new, which would be the primary entrance and exit for the site. And then currently, there's a huge glare right now. Currently, where you see all of the road frontage out in front of the mill, that's going to be substantially reduced and continuously more as the phases are developed. If that makes sense. So when it's all said and done, from everything you see now, there will be 1 cut on the east side of this large lot, 1 cut on the west side, and then obviously 1 driveway for the other house, and then potentially there could be 1 driveway to the west if they were to ever build out there, but that's not in the plans at this time.
So two driveways, 1 to the west, 1 to the east. Like I say, the vast majority of that will all go away ultimately through once the phases are completed.
As well as the scale, it's in one of the phases to relocate the scale farther away from.
Right, we can't improve that driveway to the west until that scale can be moved over in its appropriate phase. So again, these things have to work in sequence there to be able to get there, but that is our plan to get there where we have just the two driveways there. And again, I think by moving that driveway to the east, that'll be the vast majority of the traffic that'll come in from the retail side. That'll be right up here on top of that hill. So
The driveway improvements you're proposing won't be complete until all phases are done.
yeah,
And what's the timeline for all phases to be done? Potentially 5, 10 years? What are you talking about
I
here?
think we said 7 to 15 on the maximum side
Really
on the
by-
last one.
Yeah, by phase 3, the driveway should be mostly sorted out. And that was expected in 5 to 10 years, according to our conversations. We did also meet on site with Theron, the highway engineer, and kind of ran past her all of the different thoughts and with Laverne. And she was very on board with the approach that was being proposed and making improvements out there. That new driveway to the east is kind of the ideal spot for visibility and everything else. So
I think
definitely.
each phase will include reduction of what's there
Right.
as we can do that. Again, the scale is a big thing where we can't build the west one until that scale can be moved in its appropriate phase.
It'd
over
just be
there.
nice to assure, since we're approving the site plans as improvements, that the improvements actually get done to the drive versus like we'd all the improvements and just leave the driveway the same, even though you're proposing it, like a timeline for that driveways as your proposal's great and they adopt it, but if it ever gets enforced 5, 10, 15 years down the road is another question, you know?
That is one thing that's helpful with the phasing,
Yeah, it's in the phasing document there.
because as they come for the next permit and as built process, that gives the planning office the opportunity to oversee that those things are happening as proposed. And I know just from talking to Laverne, I mean, he's actively lining up things to make those improvements. So
For instance, ultimately there'd be a dry well out there by that scale on that west driveway. So we're talking about putting that in, like I say, as early as this fall or next spring. So as we can, we're doing as many things as we can, ahead of that. So as far as the drainage, I think that's going to be the drainage that's the issue out there will get improved far sooner than the actual pavement will be improved there. So as we, like I say, we're going to be working on this. It should be in the phasing document too as well, right?
Yeah.
We've talked about that.
if Robbie, if you or Krista, whoever, if you go back to the development plan, phase 1 includes removing a large portion of the drive in front of the mill, and even adding some landscaping to kind of buffer the front of that. So once again, that's phase 1 that we're already substantially reducing the amount of.
You kind of see where the green dots are. That would be the landscaping up there, right in the middle.
This is phase 1.
So again, it'd be nice to have all those road improvements done immediately, day one, but we just physically can't do that with how things are and how we have to face to get everything accomplished.
Yeah, those improvements are gonna be severely needed. I know this is not the Shipshewana area, but I can't think of a more densely populated driveway access from the north and south side. It's just so grouped together in there.
Yeah.
So any improvements are gonna be better.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see some big changes with the first phase, even right there by limiting a decent amount of that. Because as it is, you can come and go basically wherever you want to now. So that you'll see a big improvement here within the next year on this first phase.
Any other questions anybody has about this one? The drainage has been an issue out there for a long time, and I think this is a big improvement in the situation.
This is the public hearing.
Yes. Oh, okay. All right. Is there anybody else here this evening who would like to speak in favor of this PUD? Is there anybody here this evening who would like to speak against this PUD? We'll close the public hearing.
And this is a recommendation.
Yes. I'll make a motion to pass this on to the commissioners with a favorable recommendation.
Second.
Any further discussion? Let's go ahead and vote.
Tyler,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Paul,
Yes.
Ethan,
Yes.
and Lynn.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Ready to move on?
Yep.
Move on, the next one's by MJ Improvements LLC by Midwest Land Surveying, it's Bloomfield Township, Section 20, Township 13, East, with zones U1 and A2. It's located north of 1485 East US 20. The application is to rezone approximately 44 acres from A2 to U1 zoning district. This is the boundary. You can see the proposal. The next step would be to do a major subdivision here. This is what they're asking to have rezoned. Parcel here. Representative?
Let me do one thing, Josh, before we do that. I failed to give the instructions for a public hearing. The petitioner, Josh, in this case, will have 15 minutes to present his reasonings here, and anybody supporting the rezone. Any remonstrators will have 15 minutes to present their concerns, and the petitioner will then have 5 minutes to speak to the concerns brought up. Now you can go. Thank you.
Thanks. Josh Lash, Midwest Land Surveying, 124 East Albion Street, Lilly, Indiana. We're here tonight for a rezoning, a potential primary plat that we want to do on the property. We were here a few months ago, and if you remember right, if you go to the aerial, Robbie, incorporated the whole property, incorporated that parcel and the parcel to the east of the woods, the tree line there. And after that meeting, some bargains were met for that farm field to the east of that woods. And so, which pretty much made the old rezone and primary plat that we did null and void. So we're back here today, incorporating the larger parcel and excluding out the smaller parcel that you see on the map. I think what we're asking for a U1 zoning, which is required lots to be a minimum of 5,000 square feet, 60 foot of road frontage, and 70 foot of lot coverage. If our proposed lots are anywhere from 8,000 to 12,000, some are even 17, 19,000. As you go over further to the west, some of those lots are much larger. But so we're still meeting above those standards for U1 zoning. Our goal and our scope is to have a rural subdivision providing housing, residential single-family housing for the property. Will be serviced by paved roads, curbs, street lighting, signs, sidewalks. It's will be a full-blown subdivision that will meet specifications met out by LaGrange County. So probably work after, if we get positive recommendation, get our zoning, we would proceed with the primary plat and would like to hopefully maneuver some material and get started yet this year or early spring. So tonight, the developers are here as well. Jim Raber, Merrill Schmucker. Is it Steve and Maria Miller? Scott and Maria Miller from Better Homes. So if there's some questions there that they may be that you have for them, I think when it comes to setbacks and zonings, lot sizes and lot frontages and things like that, I'd be more than happy to answer that. But if you have some questions for them and their dreams for the subdivision, those would be the people to ask as well.
All right. Is there anybody else this evening who would like to speak in favor of this rezone? All right. Is there anybody here this evening that would like to remonstrate or speak against the rezone? I see no hands going up. Okay, we'll close the public hearing. Any questions?
Last meeting, there were some discussions about drainage and some of the topography with that. Is this pretty much the same plan that we saw several months ago, except for the
No,
following?
I don't think so.
It's actually slightly different.
Yeah.
You want?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are utilizing open space on the subdivision. You can see the blocks on the property. We did go with some cul-de-sacs instead of going through. We went with more cul-de-sacs. So on the west side, you have two cul-de-sacs butting up with the main road coming through. And then you have a cul-de-sac. Before we had an eyebrow curve that went through there. But you can see on the primary plat, we're utilizing the open space for our drainage, and it's quite a bit of open space there. That's when the secondary plat, when we get down to the nuts and bolts of things, we'll be working with the county surveyor, with Robbie, with Theron, getting approval. We'll be working with the town of LaGrange for sewer and water. So that's when that's when we get down to actual design part. This is to facilitate what we foresee going on the property. There are some potential wetlands on the property, and we will address that with a wetland specialist and delineate those. And we are in talks with to maybe see if we can remove some of those wetlands or delineate if we move it or destroy a wetland, if we can put it in another spot. And that big block in the middle would be perfect low-lying ground for all stormwater drainage. So stormwater is a big priority in subdivisions, and erosion control and water quality and things like that. So all the things that we install on the property would improve water quality, and erosion and debris and things like that will be taken care of.
Can we address more of those details at the next go round after?
The secondary plat would have all that, the design, the construction set of plans.
Okay.
Before, if I remember right, there was like different tiers of houses going in.
Yes.
Is that gonna be the same case for?
Yeah, I believe so. Yes. And you can see on the screen that some of those lots are smaller than others. So depending on which home that you want, the smaller homes can go on the smaller lots. If you want a small home and a big lot, you can do that as well. But we are making it. We got a quite range. Like I said, we have like the minimum's like 5,000 square feet per lot for urban residential. We're actually I think we start at 8 and we go up to all the way up to 17. So 17,000. So 8,000 to 17,000. And if you can see on the screen, the cul-de-sacs, two cul-de-sacs on the west side of the property are some of the bigger lots on the property.
Just to recall, we voted on this already, but they withdrew it before because the plan had changed, correct?
Yes.
We make a
voted on it, we gave it a recommendation and actually went to the commissioners. We gave it.
Yep.
And then they decided to sell off 12 acres of it to keep it to industrial.
So they never got formally rezoned then.
No, we stopped it in the process.
Yeah.
So basically, we're just doing what we're doing on a smaller scale. Yep.
I think we had like 145 lots, 144, 147 in that range, and now we're down to 110 lots.
Okay. I think you can put a lot of water in block A,
Oh, it's,
a huge amount.
yes.
Yeah, yeah.
It would actually be really nice to have, some of those lots are gonna be walkout basements, and
Yeah.
it'll be really nice to have that in your backyard.
Do you, oh, what's the next question at the next one?
So again, this is the rezone petition, so it's a recommendation to the commissioners.
I'll make a motion to pass around the commissioners with a favorable recommendation.
Second.
Any further discussion? Go ahead and vote.
Zach,
Yes.
Ethan,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Paul,
Yes.
and John.
Yes.
It'll be going to the commissioners with a favorable recommendation. Thank you, Josh.
So we'll move on to our next petition. It's CFO, it's for Samuel and Vernon Bontrager. It's Greenfield Township, Section 4, Township 37 North, Range 10 East, and South 81. Located at 2700 East, 400 North, LaGrange. Application is for proposed 42 by 560 North Poultry Boiler Barn. A food vent pad, and 40 by 64 covered manure stack, and 45-foot pasture access. Here's our site plan.
Okay, there's the road. Okay.
This is the barn we're adding.
Oh, okay, I know this one, yeah. Okay. So I sneak that down the side,
Representative?
Yes, again, Tiffany Rowland, Agronomic Solutions. Sam and Verna, sorry, would like, they have an existing Miller Poultry barn. They'd like to put up another one. Miller Poultry is expanding their operations, would like to increase production. And so they were going to their growers that they like. They're good growers and seeing if they can build a second barn. This barn, they do have a shorter barn, so it is 26,500 in each barn. So they're not the 600-foot barns that hold a little bit more. So the existing barn does not meet the CFO setbacks. However, it's been in production a lot longer than the 3 years that it takes. It's been in production quite a few years. So the new barn will meet setbacks for the 200 feet. They are also proposing manure storage in the south end of the barn. That also does meet the setback. They purchased land from their daughter and son-in-law to meet that 200-foot setback to the manure storage in the rear. So there are outdoor pastures with filter strips around them. There is a driveway that goes back to that manure storage around the east side along the parcel line to that. The turnaround is already existing from the road. So the semis are already coming in and turning around and collecting, or sorry, not collecting anything. They're getting the birds and dropping birds off and picking birds up that way. All the manure is being sold off property. And so I think all of the questions that they're in the review process were answered. And so I think that's it. If you have any questions.
Is there any public comment on this non-public hearing item this evening? They did receive a variance to put this there.
Yes,
in
they
there.
did.
Yes, okay.
Sorry.
That's
I
all right.
forgot to mention that.
It's okay. Anybody have any questions or concerns with this one? Okay, I'll make a motion. If no one else is gonna make a motion, I'll make a motion. Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Let's go ahead and vote if there's no further discussion.
I abstain.
Lynn,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Paul,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
and Zach.
Yes.
All right, that one's passed.
Okay, we'll move on to the next one. For Spring Township, Section 8, Township 36 North, and 90, Zone 18, is located at 4030 West, 350 South. Topeka. Application is 461 by 508 Old Barn, manure storage, compost bin, grain bin pad, and a motor room. Here's our site plan. So representative,
Again, Tiffany Rowland, Agronomic Solutions. This is for Sunrise Pullets. This is a tract that they have parceled off for 26.36 acres. For a pullet operation, 50,000 pullets will be in this barn with a manure storage at the south end, a compost bin off of the west side of the manure storage. We will have an office on the northwest side of the pullet barn with a septic system off the west side of that as well. They're planning to have a restroom in that office. The deed has been signed over and recorded. Is that correct, Dustin?
Well, it was recorded, but it was rejected because I believe it was in the name of the trust, but it's actually back in their personal name, so we need to have it re-signed. But it can be recorded, so it's, we can see.
Okay.
So we had a little mix up, because it got moved out of the trust about a month ago. Much to our surprise.
Okay, much to my
It's not
surprise
quite,
also.
so it will be.
So that's not quite finished. So that will be rectified and completed. We do have item permit on this. And I believe there weren't any issues or questions actually with in review that we had with this one. So
This
Any-
parcel doesn't have a residence attached to this.
there is not a residence attached to
Is there a
this
second
parcel.
well proposed or just one well?
There is one well proposed.
Did you not tell me that you need 2 wells for these if they don't have residence attached?
It is up to the company, depending on what size well they put in. Miller Poultry, this is not a Miller Poultry, does require 2, but depending on what size well they put in, they can go with 1.
The company recommendation.
Could you go back to begin on the screen? I would had a dickens of a time trying to figure out where the layout is or where exactly the farm is in the parcel. Okay. This is gonna be open field.
Yes.
Do we need a road to the manure?
So the farm building's on the north side.
I believe so.
Correct.
And this isn't the right doing, so I'm good to vote on
Who's the
it.
Who's the operator?
On this one.
Tiffany?
For here. I'm like,
Where do they live?
they live in the north house on the northeast corner.
Okay, but so
The parcel to the north?
Yes, the parcel to north, there's 2 homes.
Yeah. They didn't want to attach it to the homes. What reason why?
So there are 2 homes, like I said. So the calf business is part of both of the homes. They both run that operation. So the pullet operation is just Dwayne and his
Separate from the.
yes, it's separate. So it's essentially 2 different
Wanna keep it separate.
businesses.
So they live right next door. It's
Mhm.
just that they want to keep it separated because they share that and they're gonna share this.
Mhm.
That makes a little more sense.
I also do not see a road back to the manure stack. Do we need a road?
That
back
was
there?
not essentially proposed. That is something that we can add. Because this is pullets, they will be cleaned out more often, so we can propose that. This is, so they will use the adjoining farmland to spread the manure, and there is farmland to the west. Are you using a custom hauler? I can't remember. Or are you getting your own license? So he will be getting his own license once the barn is built. And so not necessarily will he need to have a custom hauler spread for him,
How many birds, Tiffany?
50,000.
As of right now, he doesn't need to have. it. But in the future, he may have to have. it.
He has, like I said, he has adjoining land to spread on, plus the land that he has parceled off, and then just 2 fields over, 2 parcels over, he has more land designated for his manure. So he has enough land base to spread all of his manure within a half a mile.
Once you get your license, what do you foresee hauling your manure with? What kind of a vehicle or horse drawn or whatever you're going to do? Horse drawn?
Can you go back to the site plan?
So they live up here, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
In the future, if he would have someone custom hauling it, would we have any opinion on whether or not we'd have a separate lane going back from the primary or a second one coming going off the road to the
It'd
west?
be a lot shorter if it came right off the road.
Yeah, it'd make more sense
Yeah.
to come off 400. than a little bit.
You try to minimize your road cuts because it's maintenance, increased
Yeah,
costs to the.
That would be
highway
another
department.
driveway
Yeah.
cut.
They
I
could
don't know if
do it, the
Darren
highway
would like
permitted it,
that.
but they try to minimize road cuts because of just safety and maintenance. And then every time you burn, every time you plow, it's just one more place of intersection, but not saying you couldn't do it, highway dependent.
400 isn't gonna be that
Not
No, it's a dirt road. It's pretty,
big. Well, if it gets that big, it'd be terrible anyway, because I live
It's-
close to that.
it's pretty slow going road. Not many people travel that road.
Get on our road, and that's a zoo.
A lot of those gravel ones are getting that way too, just so you know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we got gravel right, yeah.
Okay.
So I would mind approving it pending that there's no custom hauling off from, a second or third party. If he's doing it all himself, I don't necessarily see a reason to make him make a drive, but first time he hauls a semi or a big triaxle load in there, then I think he should have to put the drive in.
I'd encourage you to do it for your sake anyway.
Yeah.
It'd be helpful, just a little more costly, yeah. Is it something you guys want to make you put the drive in regardless, or you want to make it conditional that if he's, how do you guys want to address it?
And can we condition it on something might happen 3 or 4 years in the future? And I don't know that.
Well, we just have to, that's an enforcement issue there. And, I don't know if we want to,
While you're putting the building up, it's not gonna take that much more to put
No.
that drive in.
no.
That
I
is
like all of them having a drive to the
a lot
manure
of
pile.
stone.
It's a lot of
And if
stuff.
he's just using a horse and and spreader, it's not gonna get stuck.
Oh,
It's a lot of manure
they'll
too.
get stuck. I've seen a few of them stuck.
How many days of storage we got?
I don't have the item permit with me, but well over 6 months,
6 months at least.
well over 6 months. I just don't have the calculations with me.
So in theory, if you got 6 to 9 months of storage, you should be able to find dry enough weather to spread that manure where it's not a problem, especially if it's being spread on site or on an adjoining field. If you go to the adjoining fields to the west, would you go across land to get there, or would you go out to the road?
You would have to go to the
Across
road.
land to get there.
I just
So
have
there's a
hard
condition
time.
that as long as you haul manure within that square mile or wherever, within the road, we don't need a lane in there. If you're gonna have to haul off of land, right, a custom hauler, he's gonna haul down the road to someplace else and put a driveway in. But if he's just hauling on his property to the west, the driveway's doing him really no good,
No.
right?
So I'd say put the condition, if it goes to commercial hauling, it has to have a drive from 400.
That's, okay. You make a motion?
Yeah, yes.
Second.
All in favor of that motion, say by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Is there any, we've already had public comment, but is there any other public comment on this non-public hearing item? I got you. Yeah.
Do you understand what we're proposing?
If you go with a commercial hauler, you need to put a road in. Okay? Lane, yeah.
Drive, yeah. If it-
That'll kind of be up to the highway department as
Yeah.
well, where you place it, okay? Okay. Not kind of, it will be up to the highway department where you place it. There's no kind of involved. Okay, so are we ready to vote on this one? Okay,
Paul,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
Ethan,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Lynn,
yes,
and Tyler.
Yes.
all right, you've been approved. Thank you much. Communications, Robbie.
No communications, just something under other business.
I see other business. Calvin Gingrich rezone.
So, yeah, so we gave favorable recommendation to a rezone petition, the commissioners approved it, and through the process of getting it on GIS, there was a mistake in the legal. So we are doing an amended,
Resolution passed to the commissioners for them to amend their ordinance to have the correct legals. There was an error in the legal. Just a
so we're just amending.
Scrivener's error.
So we gotta make a motion to amend the rezone of the, I don't know how to word it up.
So, yeah, so
There's a
what we,
motion to approve the amended resolution.
correct.
I'll make a motion to approve the amended resolution.
Second.
For the Calvin Gingrich rezone, and we have a second. Does that have to be a voice vote? Probably, no, that has to be a written vote, I suppose, not a voice vote.
Should probably do roll call.
Roll call, okay. All right, I think we're ready.
Tyler,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Ethan,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
Paul,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
and Lynn.
Yes. Anything else?
Nope, I have nothing else.
All right, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Good deal.
Yeah.
So,